Hey folks, I'm here for another full moon forecast for you guys. I actually missed recording one 2 weeks ago, and I was just so in creation mode that I completely forgot. Yeah, just to say that I don't get it all right. And I've just really been in this mode of like just really following what's alive in me. And it feels so good to create from that. And, like unhook from the ego of like, I think so many of us create what we think we should or what's going to bring the money in. But actually, if you ask yourself, like, what would I literally love to create if money was no obstacle? If it wasn't about the money, what would I create? And that is when you start digging deeper to the things that are really alive and, are part of your purpose that you're meant to birth in the world, right? And this is linking back to this full moon in Taurus that we have happening the 5th of November at 1:19 p.m. That's GMT time. And if you want to know the degrees, it's happening at 13 degrees and 22 seconds. So Taurus, this energy is really about reclaiming our pleasure, reclaiming the things that we actually want and desire in life. Because what I've realized and what I see in so many people, particularly women, is this need to abandon our wants and desires as if us being a martyr is good, is going to help others, is because we're jealous of people, we're worried that people are going to be jealous of us claiming what we want and what we truly and going for it in life, right? Because it takes courage to go, this is what I want, and I'm going to go for it no matter what, no matter the outcome, no matter I'm going to be in the vulnerability of that desire and that want. And that's something that I've been exploring. I'm currently in a 9 month container, is super deep and just really unhooking from this people pleasing of like trying to shrink my gifts and my energy down so that I don't rock the boat with others. No, you're actually being in a disservice to your community and the people you can help by doing that. They need to hear your message, they need to hear your wisdom. So it does link back to because this full moon, that Taurus energy is really about what brings you pleasure. What would you absolutely love to create in your life? Because you say you want it, but there's parts of you that are afraid, that are actually afraid of getting what you want. Whatever situation is happening in your life right now. And this is really a truth bomb that really set me free is like a part of you wants that. I'm going to say it again, a part of you wants that, even if it seems like such a sucky situation, like you're in debt, say. A part of you wants that and it's benefiting from that result, i.e., the debt, because it feels safer to you. There's a part of you that is getting its needs met. It feels safer than you actually having more money because maybe money, gives you this feeling of more responsibility and you already feel like a really responsible human. So why on earth would you want more? And so we have to look at that piece of security. And this full moon really reminds us like, what is security to you? Because security, when we like project onto money, which is what a lot of us do, we project onto money that it's going to give us security, that it's going to be there. We're actually putting pressure on it. We're putting pressure on money to perform for us. When actually money is a feminine being, it's a playful spirit that when you do that, you're pushing her away. You are saying, okay, I only want you when you're there. When you're not there, I don't care. And it's actually a relationship we need to have with our money and our resources because you know, this theme that Taurus invites us into is about abundance. And abundance is more than money, it's resources, it's, you know, people offering you opportunities. So ask yourself, where are you seeking security outside of yourself? And if you're doing that to money, dig deeper and go, what is this part of me that is seeking safety and security from money? Like, how can I give that to myself? And just free journal on that. That will really help you. Um, because, you know, what I'm really learning even more is it's really about finding that safety within yourself. And that's a process. It doesn't just happen one day. You've done all the meditations and boom, you feel safe. It's a continuous practice to come back to your heart, your soul, and to lead from that place no matter what. And this is what I'm going to be teaching in this 5-day journey. So join the free soul guidance journey if you want to really reconnect with your intuition and understand, like, what is it you truly want? Like digging deeper beyond your conditionings of what you think you should want in life. What is it your heart truly wants? We're going to be digging into this in the 5-week journey. So it's free. I will leave the link below. You can join us. And this Venusian energy of Taurus is like about being playful, about being frivolous. How can you be more frivolous in your life? Because often we feel like we have to earn play, right? We have to there's only so much fun we can have in our life, only so much enjoyment. And I know I block myself in so many ways with this one. Like I literally started a 6-week salsa class. I did 1 week. The next week I was ill, and then I subconsciously forgot and like booked a shifting with my agency the next Thursday. So that meant I'd missed two of those classes, which to me is a reason that I'm actually blocking myself for my own pleasure. And I am actually going to do the course again, but I thought I'm missing two, so I'll have to wait till the next one starts. But a part of me wanted that to play out. A part of me was actually protecting me from that enjoyment, from that pleasure, because I loved the first class. So you see, there's always a part of you that is creating those scenarios in your life. And as soon as you see that, you take your power back. And this full moon is inviting us to look at the ways we outsource our power, looking at the ways we outsource that external validation, that need for safety. Maybe it's from others, maybe it's from your social media posts. And this is a telling one that I've had to unhook from recently a lot, is like actually posting and then going into hermit mode because I haven't got interaction or likes or engagement on my post. It's not about that. And what I realized from this telling the truth is daily posting is actually if I validate myself and find that sense of security within myself, it doesn't matter about the engagement because I'm showing up, I'm being of service, I am in my purpose, and I'm speaking and sharing with my people what they need to hear from my higher self. That's it. So, this full moon is going to really shine a light on like what are the ways you're preventing your pleasure and enjoyment? Like because as humans, we're meant to enjoy life. We seriously are. But this is bringing awareness to like, okay, how can you fully, own and give yourself permission to enjoy life, the simple things in life, to slow down a moment, right? We're in autumn. We don't have to go at a million miles an hour. And when you do, that's like literally your ego. When your ego goes into the sense of urgency and panic, it's trying to control something and it's trying to prevent you from feeling something because the soul is boundless. The soul is not under time constrictions, right? The soul has all the time in the world for your creations and it acts in a playful way, I feel inspired to create this. That's what I'm going to do. And it follows the threads of that inspiration and it trusts those intuitive nudges that it feels. And This full moon is this real dance between the pleasure, being grounded in our senses, in the moment right now, here right now, with whatever is currently in your life right now. And this other piece of Scorpio, which is invites us into the depth of feeling. What are you not willing to feel? What are you resisting? Because within that fear of whatever you're fearing, there's a part of you that's resisting, that is terrified. This full moon is going to help you access that. By the way, we don't need a full moon to do that. But I'm just saying you can utilize this full moon energy to guide you deeper into those emotions. Like with this, you're probably going to feel more introspective, that you need more time alone to be still, to be quiet, to come back into your body because, you know, the next step or that clarity that you're seeking on your direction comes from getting quiet, comes from reconnecting with your intuition, right? And really connecting in with where do you feel your intuition? I know if something feels like alive for me, there's like a lightness in my heart. I feel open in my chest. Whereas if something's like a no, I tend to get it in my solar plexus, like there's a tightening of like, oh, this doesn't feel good. And that will be different for you, but start, getting connected with where you feel those intuitive nudges, those sensations in your body. You might also receive a vision and get that clear guidance, but really be attuned to that. This full moon is opening that, access point up for us. And there's a real sense of us trudging forwards with real energy as well. Although we're like in autumn, this is a time to slow down as well. There's a real fiery element at this full moon, which is like, okay, this is the direction you're heading in, and reconnecting with that bigger vision. It can be so easy to get distracted by life. This is why this is a continuous practice. Okay, I've lost my way. That's okay. Like, what's the next obvious step for me to take? Always asking that. And it can be a really small step. Like, you don't have to know all the steps to get to the mountaintop, right? And it's about the journey, it's about enjoying the journey. If that's what I've learned, is it's like enjoying every part of the journey, not just like when things work out, but when things feel clunky and when things don't go the way I planned. It's like, okay, what is this teaching me? What's the lesson here? So there is this real fiery energy that's going, okay, what is the bigger vision? What is that vision for your life that you might feel disconnected from? Really connecting in with that and allowing yourself to daydream, allowing yourself to go there. And, if there was no limits and no obstacles on what you could create, what would you create? What would you literally put out into the world? If it didn't matter how that could come into being, if it didn't matter the outcome of that thing, but you followed that thread of aliveness and inspiration and put that thing out there. Let me tell you, like I'm literally launching a 6-week journey called Persephone, which I'm so excited about. This has been brewing for years since I went through like some really like a dark night of the soul period when I was in Australia. I've told that story many times, but it seeded something within me. And since then, I've really been on this search for truth. And in the last few years, this sort of deeper shadow work of integrating these parts of myself that I've, disowned and shut away. And this is really my gift to the world. This 6-week process is the real spiritual work. It's not about like another visualization. I bring meditation into it, but it's actually about having radical acceptance for all these parts of you, all the parts that you disown and ignore, right? And that's taken time for that creation to kind of emerge. And I had to grow in the person that was ready to, birth that. And obviously, part of me isn't ready because you'll never fully be ready. But the fact is, I'm following that aliveness and I'm doing it no matter what. I have two women signed up, like so, so thrilled. Um, because it feels so alive in me. And that's what you've got to keep doing in being vulnerable to your creations. You don't know how the thing's going to work out. But if in that vulnerability is where your heart opens, and from that space of like curiosity, the steps appear, the next step will appear and it will be clearer and clearer. So this full moon is a real invitation into back into your pleasure, to tend to your pleasure, do the things that bring you pleasure and joy, like if you want to go do ceramic classes, go do ceramic classes. If you want to go to a dance class, sign up to that dance class. Stop waiting. Because when you wait, you're literally telling your subconscious that you don't deserve it. And your mind will say, I can't do it right now because the kids aren't old enough or I don't have enough money right now. If you decide to do that, that money will come. That money will show up in some way. But you have to be open, receptive to that process, right? So this is what I wanted to share for this full moon. And there is like potentially some shakeup that's going to happen in your world that is going to it and that shakeup could be like a trigger, like somebody activates you or some situation comes out the blue that throws your ego into a panic and you see things clearly. Shakeups are always here to help us see more clearly. Just remember that. So there might be a moment around this full moon where you feel really triggered by something somebody says or does. Take that as, okay, this is actually moving me closer to that bigger vision. And I might not see the clarity right now, but there is going to be something that happens that really shapes the way you think, that changes the way you see something, and your mind will open. And you might have a real light bulb moment and a real revolution. Be open to that because that's really powerful, this full moon, and see it as a catalyst to point you forwards in a bigger, bolder direction. This is about being bolder and really following those intuitive nudges, having the faith when you don't see the way in the dark, that you have that bow and arrow and you're going to shoot it into the sky no matter what, no matter the outcome. You're doing it because it's so alive and so juicy in you, and you're doing it no matter what. So go create, see that as a catalyst, and keep coming back to what do I enjoy? What would I love to do today? What would I love to create in my life? And follow through and do those things that bring you pleasure in your daily life. It's so important to stay connected to our feminine energy and be in that like receptive mode of receiving the next steps from our higher self. So enjoy, my loves. Let me know what is the life for you at this full moon. Drop it in the comments. I always love hearing from you. And yeah, enjoy. Go do those things that bring you pleasure. Bye.